without religion turning Africans to daft things, to animals, to non-living things from the way they think, the politicians that you think are smart will be nowhere near anything smart, will be nowhere called anything smart when compared to the African child, when compared to the Nigerian child. We were born to be smart and intelligent. But unfortunately, the West come with their religion to stunt our level of thinking, to take away our brain and replace it with something else. And this is working for the politicians very well. That is why in Nigeria, in Africa, pastors, prophets, religious criminals, bandit from the pulpit, does everything and they are not questions, they go away with it because they are actually working in advantage of the politicians. Otherwise, show me which other countries of the world would what is happening in the religious houses in Nigeria be tolerated. We've seen some prophets in Nigeria. We've seen some GOs. All they do is lie, stage miracles, deceive the people, keep robbing the people of their hard-earned money in the name of tithe and offering. The government actually know that this is a fraud, that this is a crime. But because they work for each other, you take your own, I take my own. They both descend on the poor and ordinary Nigerian. Sadly enough, the ordinary Nigerian is not interested in waking up from this sleep. When you try to wake them up, you become their enemy. They come after you. They join their oppressor to want to do all manner of things to you just because you simply just want to help them. They didn't know you were actually helping them. Can you do with what is happening in the Niger Delta, where a certain prophet is selling the unsellable? Will you do that in Germany? Will you do that in the US, where they claim to be God's own country? Can you try that in Asia? Tell the church followers that you have something to sell, something that is not real, or to take their money. These are crime. This should be condemnable. These people should be arrested, prosecuted, and they will definitely be guilty and perhaps be convicted. That is crime against humanity, lying, defrauding people in the name of what is not there. But the politicians that were supposed to handle these things needed those pastors, needed those GOs to make the people's ability to think a redundant and dormant one so that they can thrive as politicians. That's why the politicians will look at the congregation and tell them anything, because they know that the ability to think has been tampered with by the religious men. Is it the imam in the mosque who have told them with a huge number of followers that there's a paradise where there's something called Allah somewhere, where you go and get benefit and whatever happens here doesn't count? That is rubbish. That is why when you tell these people government is bad, they tell you Allah will fix it. The Christian dummy will say God will do it. Whereas in essence, God does nothing, Allah does nothing. It is entirely up to man. How do we change this? How do we solve this problem? Because this is a problem bigger than problem. You are trying to get a good politician, a good government in Africa, and you are not tackling religious problem, then you will try forever. Because a religious zombie cannot think positively when it comes to making political choices and decisions. It's that simple. So you must take away religion, remove that religious madness from the people's head, so that they now have access. They now regain the ability to think. Only then can they tackle governance and politics head on. Anything other than that, we will shout forever. One politician will just tell them rubbish with the backing of what a pastor or imam said, and that's it. That is just it. And how long are we going to continue with this? How long should we tolerate and accept this? I leave you with that question, and I hope to see the answer in my comment section. See you there.